Hey everyone, it's Amanda. Welcome back to my channel. So May is coming to a close and June is right around the corner, so it's time to set up our June bullet journal. June plan with me's are particularly my favorite because it's my birthday month, so we're gonna have to find a way to make this one really good. I'd like to thank today's sponsor, Audible. Anyone who knows me knows that I love to listen to audiobooks and podcasts, especially while I'm bullet journaling or drawing. It can be such a great thing to throw on and listen to and kind of keep you company. I get through so many audiobooks while I'm drawing. It's awesome. Currently, I'm actually listening to Sapiens by Yuval Harari and I've been loving it, but Audible has such a huge selection of audiobooks. They have comedy, news, entertainment, magazines, so anything you're interested in, I'm sure they have something there for you. So if you want to try Audible for yourself this month while you're bullet journaling, be sure to go to audible.com/AmandaHLee or text AmandaHLee to 500-500 to get an exclusive 30-day free trial and a book of your choice for free. But anyways, now for my personal favorite part of these videos, the part where I get to showcase your recreations of last month's bullet journal spread, which was May. I've been loving seeing all of them on Instagram. You can see a bunch of them above me right now. So if you do recreate any of my spreads this month or any previous months, be sure to tag me on Instagram at AmandaHDoodles and tag me in both the caption and the actual photo because then I can see all of them and like them and comment on them and stuff. So I can't wait to see what you guys come up with this month. But anyways, I think that's pretty much it for the intro, so I'm going to pass you off to the voiceover. Alright, so for this month's theme, I decided to go with a travel, around the world, wanderlust theme. I actually did put up a poll over on the community tab page of my channel, and I asked you guys to vote for which theme you wanted to see me do, and this theme won by an overwhelming majority. And I'm actually really glad you guys chose this theme for me this month because I am going to be traveling near the end of this month. I'm going to VidCon in LA, which I'm super excited about. And I also know that a lot of you guys might have some future travel plans for the summer, so I thought that doing this now would help you guys out and hopefully give you some inspiration for any travel-themed spreads that you might want to do later on. In terms of the cover page, as you can see, I did a bunch of travel doodles. We have suitcases, Polaroid pictures, planes, and the accent color I chose for this month, or colors actually, are these two brown shades, and I thought it made it look almost sepia toned and very vintage and nostalgic, which I thought worked perfectly. On the spread next to it, I have this little quote page that says, "Adventure awaits you," which I thought was such a nice quote to start off the summer with all of the adventures to come, and I drew this little minivan that's off and ready for a road trip. Next up, of course, we have my monthly calendar layout, and I went back to an older layout. I actually think I did this in both February and March. I just really like it. If you're curious about the grid spacing, I think each day was 5 wide and 7 tall. For the font this month, I decided to go with something a bit different than what I normally do. I usually do like calligraphy, cursive style, but for this month I thought the theme was a little quirky and fun, so I went with this all caps lettering, and I actually still use the Tombow Fudenosuke brush pen. By the way, I'll have everything that I use linked down in the description box as usual in case you're curious about the colors and the pens that I use. Another thing I like about this layout is it gives me a lot of space on the left-hand side in order to do some doodles and to put my YouTube growth tracker. So I'm just drawing a globe at the bottom and then the plane that is flying off from the globe, and then in between the space there, that's where I'm putting my YouTube growth tracker as normal. I feel like, actually, I think the YouTube growth tracker is the thing that has never changed in my bullet journal for like the past 2 years almost, so it's kind of a fun little fact there. I'm just coloring in all the doodles with the 2 brown shades. If you'll notice, I'm actually not coloring in any of the doodles fully. I'm leaving a lot of space white just because I liked that simple, minimal style. For my mood trackers, and actually my trackers in general, I thought that this theme was so much fun and I just had to play around with it. So I actually drew 30 little postcards, and that's going to be how I track my mood. I did sketch them out with pencil beforehand just because there was a lot of layering and I wanted to make sure that there was enough space. But essentially each postcard is going to represent a day, and the color that I fill it in will represent the mood that I was in that day. In order to make them look like postcards, make sure you put the little stamps in each of the corners. I just did a circle with 3 wavy lines to make it look like it's being shipped off somewhere. You can also put the address lines, but This is just kind of a simplified version of a postcard. At the bottom of the page, you're going to see me draw the legend where I depict what colors are going to represent what mood. I made sure I wait till the fine liner dried, erased all the pencil marks, and I did a little test to show you guys what it would look like once one was colored in. For my habit trackers on the other page, I decided to do each individual habit as a Polaroid picture. So you'll see I'm drawing 9 here, and then within the actual picture part of the Polaroid is a grid that has 30 spaces, and basically whenever I do whatever habit I'm tracking, I'll fill in one of those boxes. These individual habit trackers have been one of my favorite bullet journal discoveries of 2018, just because I keep up with it better and I find it easier to have a nice overview of what I've done this month. They are a little tedious and annoying to set up just because there's a lot of numbers to write, a lot of grids to create, but in the end I find that it's worth it. So I labeled each Polaroid picture with the habit that I wanted to track, and then filled in those numbers. Oh, I also added a little doodle just because I thought it was looking a little empty. But yeah, just trucking along, finishing all of those numbers. If I were to do this spread again, I might have changed the angle of the Polaroids a bit, maybe made them a bit slanted and off kilter, just to make them look a bit more Polaroid-y, because I do think it ended up looking almost like a phone, but anyways, I still like the way it turned out. Next up we have my expense tracker, and I actually did the exact same layout as last month because I really enjoyed it and I found it worked really well for me. And as I explained last month, I have this chart sectioned off by week and also by category of spending. So I have house expenses, restaurants, groceries, social, extra, and then week to week I will write down how much I spent for each of those categories. And it just gives me a nice overview of what I'm spending my money on. So as I mentioned, I'm going to be traveling and going to LA and VidCon, so I needed a packing list, and this is actually one of my favorite spreads from this month because I thought it turned out so cute. I doodled a bunch of these suitcases laid out on the page and made sure there was enough surface area for me to write in, and essentially each of these suitcases is going to represent a different category in my packing list. So I have one for clothes and shoes, one for technology, one for beauty stuff, one for essentials, and then I'll just write whatever list inside the suitcase. So I'm actually so excited to fill this out because I just love the way it turned out. If you are traveling a lot this summer, it can actually be really helpful to have this sort of master packing list in your bullet journal, because every time you go to pack, you can just refer to the same list and not have to rewrite out a list every single time. Unless, of course, there's different things you need to bring for each trip, like if there's different weather circumstances. So the next couple of pages are also dedicated to my travel plans this month. I'm making this itinerary for when I leave for LA, so I have my departure and arrival flight information, and I'm going to put any other information that I need as well right there, and that way I can just refer to it. And then underneath it, I actually left a section for VidCon, and this is where I'm going to write down any scheduling stuff I have or any reminders. By the way, if any of you guys are going to VidCon, let me know. I'm so excited to hopefully meet a couple of you. I don't know what to expect. It's going to be my first VidCon ever, but I'm really excited. The page next to it is my things to check out while I'm in LA page. Basically, I asked you guys on Instagram if you had any suggestions for stuff that I should check out while I'm in LA, and I got so many responses that I just knew I had to make a separate page to write all of them down instead of just saving them as screenshots. So I'm excited to go through all of the DMs and hopefully find some fun things to do in LA. Next up, we have my video planner spread. This is kind of like a brain dump page, so it's just completely empty, but I did add the doodles of the globes and the planes and the suitcases at the bottom corner just for fun, because I thought it was cute. I actually had so much fun with this theme, guys. I highly recommend it. The final spread you're going to see me make after this one is the weekly spread for the first week of June, and if you've been following me on Instagram and seeing some of the pictures I've been posting of my bullet journal, then you might have seen that I tried out something called a Dutch door earlier in May. and it immediately became one of my favorite things. I just love the functionality of it and how it looks. Basically, you just cut a page in half in between your spread, and this acts as a little flap that you're able to use. It's gonna be so hard to explain, but you can kind of see what I made here. On the left side, I have this sidebar with the little monthly overview as well as some doodles, and then on the right side, I actually did my weekly spread. Now the reason for this Dutch door is that it actually gives you more space for planning. So I'm able to split these columns up in half for each day. Things have been a little crazy and hectic in my life right now because of all the travel plans, and I'm actually moving out soon as well, so having this extra planning space in my weekly spreads has been a blessing. So if you guys are looking for more planning space like me, try out a Dutch door, see how it works for you. I definitely did not come up with this idea. I saw it a bunch on Instagram, but I thought it was the coolest thing. And I actually did save that little scrap of paper that I cut off in case I made any mistakes in the future and I want to use it to patch over any of that. But anyways, here's the final flip through of my June 2018 bullet journal setup with our travel around the world wanderlust theme. I actually really love the way that this setup turned out, this whole theme, and I also like the little extra travel themed spreads that I threw in there, so hopefully you guys enjoyed that as well. Alright everyone, so that was my June plan with me and bullet journal setup. I hope you guys liked this month's theme and the spreads. I can't wait to see all of your recreations and what you guys come up with. Be sure to tag me at AmandaRachDoodles in any of your recreations on Instagram. And also while you're there, stick around. We have a fun time. I post a lot of my bullet journal spreads throughout the month there, and I also do weekly Sunday live streams where I set up my weekly spread. So I can't wait to see you guys there. I think that's pretty much it for this video, so I'm gonna sign off now. Shout out to any of my fellow June babies out there, and yeah, so I'll talk to you guys in my next video. Bye everyone.